what's up, YouTube? I'm Brett from RANTS. As always, guys, if y'all enjoy our content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave that comment down below. We're on the road to 1,000, and we hope you guys can help us get there. Alright, so, as many of y'all already know, George R.R. Martin signed a massive deal to help with HBO to produce basically all these different, and come up with all these different HBO spinoffs. My question to all of y'all out there is this good news for book readers? Or is it better for us as fans of A Song of Ice and Fire and those who are Game of Thrones fans to get all these different series, but yet not, Winds of Winter and, A Dream of Spring or whatever it's supposed to be, the end ones, in books, to finish, the Song of Ice and Fire books? And I've debated this with myself quite a long time now. Even before this, because I was like, okay, I was not one that really hated the Fire and Blood book. I thought it was actually really good. I thought it was a really fun read. I know a lot of people said that it read like an encyclopedia, and yeah, I can kind of see where they're going with that. It did, but it had really, it telling the backstory of the Targaryens was really interesting. I enjoyed it quite a bit. But then at the same time, after I got done reading it, I started contemplating it, and I did a video here on Rants or Us about that very topic. Did that book cost us finishing the original series of books? And at the time I said yes, it did, because all that time wasted on him writing that could have been him finishing, A Song of Ice and Fire, of Winds of Winter. So I mean, yeah, I was a little bit pissed at that time about that. I really was. And now that now that he's made this massive deal to create, let's see what all of the projects are there. Let me go down here and scroll down. All right. There's going to be, of course, House of the Dragon. Then there's going to be another Thrones project in the works. It's 10,000 Ships, which is a working title focused on warrior Queen Nymeria. Some 1,000 years before the original show. 9 voyages following Lord Corlys Velaryon, a.k.a. the Sea Snake. A Dunk and Egg spinoff based on his novella series, and a reported animated series set in this world. So yeah, it just makes me wonder, what would I prefer? What would I want as a fan? And I was just wondering what y'all's opinion of it was as well. Me personally, it's going to be hard to live in a world with all these different Game of Thrones spin-off shows. If, let's say, God forbid, something ever happened to George R.R. Martin and he wasn't able to finish those books, and then we have all these spin-offs, whether they're great spin-offs or terrible spin-offs, doesn't matter. We'd be having all these spin-offs, but we wouldn't even have a finished original series. We would not even have, the original books wouldn't even have been finished. And to me, that's so strange to think that we can have spin-off shows of a series of books that aren't even finished. And yet, somehow, that's acceptable. That seems, if that's not jumping the gun, I don't know what is. I mean, that's like having, that would be like if J.K. Rowling, if she'd have just been like, you know what, I made this first book, I'll worry about finishing these others later on, but I'm gonna come up with, the original Harry Potter movie, and then I'm gonna create like spin-offs that go back 10,000 years and 5,000 years in the future, and I'm gonna create all this off the original, off those characters of that one, and then I'll get to finishing those stories that people actually are wanting, this book series that people are actually wanting a little bit later on. You know, that didn't happen with her. And we got uh, a good conclusion to the Harry Potter books. We really did. I mean, we got a great conclusion. No one complains about it. It was perfect all the way around. I just feel like George R. R. Martin is a kid in a candy store in this regard, that he sees so much things that he wants to do, that he can't choose which one to focus on or which one to grab and eat. And I'm not, that's not a fat joke about George R. R. Martin. It's not any of that. I'm just using that as a reference of just how his mind seems to work. Like, he doesn't, it's like, oh, I want some of this. Oh, I want some of that. Like, I get it. He's wanting the money that comes from, these spin-off series. But you cannot tell me that if we had 10 spin-off series, series or movies or whatever it may be, but yet we don't have a finished Song of Ice and Fire, then to me, all of this, if Winds of Winter isn't finished, but yet we have all these, I'm like, what's the point? Like, I would feel like all of that other stuff was just a complete and total waste of time. Like, that took the effort that should have been into finishing his original manuscripts, his original book series, into creating this lore that delves into that book series, but doesn't give it the conclusion that fans are needing. If you leave it um, as what D&D did with the ending there, if you do that, I feel like you're going to get half of your book fans to just be like, no, why support all of this when what we've really been wanting for 10 years is for him to actually start working on finishing, his original work. And that's something that weighs on me heavily. It does. It weighs on me as a fan, and I know it weighs on many of y'all out there as well. Of whether and I just want to know. I mean, leave this in the comment section, and let's have a discussion about this, because I'm just curious. I see this in these fan pages, whether they be on Facebook or any other place. Just when I'm talking to other fans of this, it seems like it always goes back to the books. Like, it goes back to that. Like, they want that finished. People, yes, they might be excited about maybe new upcoming series that's coming up, but at the end of the day, the excitement is always about, will he finish the books? And if he doesn't finish those books, I just don't see how relevant these spin-off series are going to be. Like, I think after a while, people are going to be like, oh, why are we investing so much in these series when books aren't even finished on these? On a lot of these. I mean, that's my view on it, and I get it. You can say, well, a lot of these don't, are going to be kind of based off of, lore that was already out there, and so on, and I get that. But at the end of the day, I mean, it's lore based off of a series that is not even completed. So, like, I mean, you can say, well, something like Star Wars. Star Wars, lore is, all encompassing. It goes back, it goes through all the movies, and then it goes back into the extended universe. But it feels completed. It feels like, okay, this is where we left off. Whether you love the new movies or not, this is where you left off, and this is all that's behind it. So you feel like you've got this completion to it, at least, where I don't feel like you have that with George R.R. Martin's work. So I mean, yeah, I'm excited. I am excited. There is some things that he's come out with that really make me go, okay, this is going to be a really interesting series. House of the Dragon sounds really good. Not big on the casting choices he made on it, but yeah, I think it's going to overall. I think it's going to be a success. But I have a feeling that HBO is not going to be happy with it because it's not going to lead up to the same hype as what the Game of Thrones did, and unfortunately, that's going to hinder. I think the success of Game of Thrones is going to hinder any future spinoff series. And I think George R.R. Martin's going to realize this, but George R.R. Martin's going to be a very, very rich man, and he's not going to care. He's just not going to care. I think as time goes on, George R.R. Martin has got a lot of antipathy towards his own fans because of them trying to rush him in to finish his books. I think he feels like, hey, I've got this success. I need to make as much money off of it as possible. And that's what he's done. While fans are just sitting there feeling like he's twiddling his thumbs, he's really not twiddling his thumbs. He's trying to make as much profit as what he can off of the popularity of Game of Thrones. So, I mean, from a human standpoint, yeah, I kind of get it. If I was him, I'd want to cash in on these different series as well. But as a fan of his content, I want him to finish the books. Leave all that other stuff for, hey, another time. But finish what you've got. Finish that, complete that story, and then that way we can say, okay, we've got finished lore on this. We've got a finished story, and then we can work off of the lore off of it. That's just all I'm saying, guys. I wish that we would not focus so much on all these spin-off shows, and he would focus more on finishing the books. Let me know what y'all think down in the comment section. This is just one of my Rants or Us rants of the day. Because this is something that's just been really getting to me, bothering me about George R.R. Martin. I've complained a million times on this channel about him. I'm a huge fan of his work, but as him as a person, I feel like he's a really arrogant guy. I feel like he's a guy that doesn't really hold his fans to the same respect as what other authors have in the past. But that's just me. That's just my own view of him. But let me know what y'all think. Let me know if y'all think he should be focusing on these spin-off series. Are y'all excited about them? Would you rather him focus more on the books and not about producing and being a part of all these different spin-off shows? As for me, it's clear as day to me. I want him to finish the books, and then he can worry about all this other stuff if he's got time. But I get it. He's got to make his money, and unfortunately, this is just the unfortunate route that the success of Game of Thrones has brought upon a Song of Ice and Fire series. It probably won't ever get completed, but we'll have 10 spinoffs to watch, so yay for that. As always, guys, thanks for watching my rants.